Yo. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kids TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before we get into this afternoon's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better, meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all that wrapped up into one big old nutshell that is, there is a message. Now, again, before we actually get into the video, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know city, state, set, hood, whatever you representing, let it be known. You know, oftentimes, man, you have that childhood friend. You know, you all come up together at a young age, and you feel as though this will be my best friend forever. This is my dog. This is my homie. This person will never ever betray me. Will never turn their backs on me. And vice versa, I would never turn my back on them. You got two individuals. You got Sam and you got Gerald. Same exact age. They were like a month apart. Same grade. Same hood. They like the same, you know, they share the same interest. Both play basketball. Both play baseball. Actually, I think they play football just as well. You seen one, you seen both. Hung together every single day in the hood, man. They came up in the hood, man. As time went on, you know, you begin to evolve in life, and you begin to I guess when you're friends, you're still friends, but one friend may go one direction, and the other friend may go in the other direction. Everything was cool, cordial. They go through middle school together. Back when I was in middle school, it wasn't middle school, it was junior high. I'm a little old. It was junior high school. Then it went to middle school to where it was I think ninth, 10th. No, I'm sorry. High school was 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. But initially, middle school was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Then high school was 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So nevertheless, they went through middle school together or whatever. And they got to high school. They was both on the basketball team. Now, to paint a picture for you so you all will get a better understanding of what I'm saying, you got Gerald. Gerald was, I want to say, he was a caramel complected dude. He was a skinny dude. At the time, he was a skinny dude. He was about 6'3". Probably weighed about 165, 170. A sharpshooter. Could shoot the hell out of the ball, man. He was. And you got Sam, who was a dark-skinned dude. He was probably about 6'2", 6'3". He's a big dude. I don't know. He's over 200 pounds, 215, 220. Kind of played down in the post. See, back then, if you was 6'2", 6'3", they wasn't really letting you bring the ball up court like that. I mean, you could, but, you know, you was playing in the post. He was a big dude. Matter of fact, he was probably taller than that. He's probably about 6'4". Everything was cool, man. They get to their senior year in high school. Every year, you even though you're already on the team, you still have to try out. They try out for the basketball team. And this is a team, they had been together for years. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was the first year of high school to where it was 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So they had been on the basketball team together since the 9th grade. Going into the senior year, as I mentioned, 4th year in high school. Sam had worked hard the whole summer. I'm talking about he had worked on his game because as a junior, he didn't really get that much clock. Matter of fact, they had him playing on the JV team along with varsity. There's nothing wrong with that because the team was stacked. They had a whole lot of talent, so they put him on JV to develop. He really developed his game, man. Got strong down in the post. He could ball. He was really, really hooping. They go for the tryouts. They put the list up on the wall, you know, next day or a couple days later. Everybody's name is on the list But Sam's name's not on the list. Sam feels as though there's some sort of practical joke being played, or, somebody's messing with him or whatever. He goes to the coach. Hey, coach, man, y'all left my name off the list. He's informed that he didn't make the basketball team. Here it is. He's a high school senior. Been on the team for 3 years and didn't make it his senior year. This was supposed to be his year. He had in the summertime, man, he was killing fools on the court. He was better than ever, but don't make the basketball team my senior year. Didn't really get a full explanation. There was another individual that had been on the team for 3 years just as well, and he didn't make the team. Wow. Both of them could play. Neither one of them were bad kids. Why wouldn't they make the basketball team? Whatever the case may be, coach decided to not put them on the team. Kind of put a divide in between Sam and Gerald's relationship, because the things that they shared, the things that, going to practice and just talking about the plays and the games and, things, the strategies and things that they were going to do, they could no longer share those sort of conversations, because you had one that was on the team, which was Gerald, and you had Sam, who wasn't on the team. It's a messed up situation, man. I felt for him. How can you possibly talk to your best friend about something that he's so disappointed in, so you really just try to avoid the subject? As the senior year progressed, the basketball team was having a lot of success. They win the city. They win the region. They win the sectional. They end up going to the state, state championship, state finals. All the while, Sam's looking at this squad like, I know I'm supposed to be on this team, man. He ain't really doing no hating. He's not he's going to some of the games, but he knows he's supposed to be out there. Everybody that's out there, these are my fellas. These dudes I grew up with. Dudes that I've been on the squad with. And here it is, y'all leaving me off the team? He's heated. He resented the coach for that. I guess I jumped a little bit too far out. I put the carriage before the horse. So we're gonna bring it back just a little bit. We're gonna rewind and go back just a little bit. Prior to the state finals, which is obviously at the end of the basketball season, which is somewhat close to the end of the school year. We in the hallway one morning, and it's one of those things to where before class starts, everybody just kind of hangs out in the hallway and just kicks and talks or whatever. See them peoples come through the door. Dudes with jackets on. Dudes with them shields and the police, they come through the door. We don't know what's going on. They move in to make their arrest. They find Sam. Put your hands behind your back. Sam at this point is only 17 years old. He's not even an adult. They take him out of the school with his hands behind his back, cuffed up. That's the talk of the day. Talk of the week. Man, Sam got arrested. Man, Sam. Trafficking charges, man. Sam had been selling to an undercover police officer. And this particular day, they decided, instead of allowing him to go home, they knew exactly where he lived. No, they came into the school first thing in the morning and got him. I guess they were trying to send a message. This will not be tolerated. Trafficking and controlled substance. Trafficking within 1,000 yards of a school, which, when you think about it, anywhere you at is within 1,000 yards of a school, and some other BS charge that came along with it. He's facing 10 years. Again, that's the talk of the school. Everybody's talking about it. They take him to Cisco Road. That's what they call it in Lexington. Cisco Road. That's for the juveniles. He goes to Cisco. Eventually, he returns back to school. He had missed maybe about a week or two of school, and he was able to return back to school as he was fighting that case. That only made things worse, in Sam's life. Sam should have been on that basketball court, man, with the rest of his people that, they started together, they should have finished together. See, this is what these coaches don't understand. Like, Not putting the responsibility off on the coach. Not saying, but Sam came from a single parent home. He was from the hood. He wasn't from like the heart of the hood, but he lived in the hood. He was one of those individuals that everybody else lived in the projects. He lived across the street or down the street in the houses. But nevertheless, he was still in the hood. He had it better than a whole lot of his friends. But it don't change the fact he was still came from a single parent home. He was in the hood. He had to struggle. So he jumped in the game, man. Had to make a way for himself. Bought himself a car, bought himself his own school clothes, things that he wanted. Not to justify that breaking the law is ever the thing to do is legitimate, but that's just what he was doing. Not sure if the coach caught wind of that. Not sure exactly what the scenario was, but whatever it was, he decided not to have him a part of that basketball team. As I mentioned, he comes back to school a couple weeks later, and he ends up graduating. I believe the case, he ended up getting like probation. Again, he was a juvenile, so he only had to be on probation for so long before the case was eventually thrown all the way out of the court system. High school that they went to had a successful year. They ended up losing in the finals. But Gerald was getting some he was pretty good. He was getting, college offers and scholarships, small schools. In the meanwhile, you got Sam. He's back into the streets. Yeah, he may have left it alone for a little while, but he's back into the streets. Now they're out of high school. A couple years pass. Gerald didn't like the direction that his life was going in, so he enlisted into the military. I want to say he went to the Marines. I want to say it was the Marines. He enlisted into the Marines. Meanwhile, Sam's still doing his thing in the streets. He got the street cred as far as getting money, having kids. He had several kids. At this point, 2 years out of high school, he's 3-4 kids deep. A lot of people know him. Every time you see him, he's fly. He got the Jordans on. He got jewelry on, earrings, nice car, nice rims, big truck. He's doing his thing in the streets. Gerald's in the Marines. He serves his first 4 years. Comes home, decides he's going to do another 4. Enlist again. He does another 4 years. He's 8 years in. They're 10 years out of high school at this point. Gerald comes home and decides, you know what? I'm going to go back. Does another 4 years. So at this point, he's 12 years in. 14 years out of high school. About 32 years at this point. 32 years old at this point. Sam goes to make a play. His name is really, really ringing in the streets as far as getting that money, man. It had been, many years since he's had any sort of run-ins with the law other than, traffic tickets, maybe a DUI here and there. Not to say that DUI is not serious, because it's very serious. People can lose their lives over a DUI. But these are the sort of things that he was dealing with. Nothing major when it came to the law. He goes to make his play. Whole thing's a setup. Set him up. It's a major amount. It's about 1 kilo, man. Coca leaves. People come in. Police jump out everywhere, whatever. Take him to jail. When he goes to jail, before he gets an opportunity, speaking of Sam, before he gets an opportunity to bond out, the feds pick the case up. Once the feds pick the case up, you're probably not going to get a bond. 9 times out of 10, feds are not going to give you a bond. If it's something small, you get caught with a gun or something minor, checks, credit card or something like that, okay, you might get a bond. But like this amount of work, coca leaves that he got caught with, they're not giving him a bond. Sits in the county jail. He's in there for, I don't know, at least a year, 15 months fighting the case. Ends up taking 10 years. He has to take a 10-year plea deal. Y'all rock with me. Has to take a 10-year plea deal because he's facing so much time. He's a first-time offender, but yet they're looking at his criminal history as far as, as a juvenile. The feds take all of those things into account. Offer him 10 years. Feds, you're going to do 85% of your time. You get a 10-year sentence, you're going to do it 8.5. Now, you can take a class that'll knock a year off, which is a drug class, put you down to 7.5 years, and then your last 6 months, you can go to a halfway house. So, essentially, you're going to do about 7 years if everything goes correctly before you have an opportunity to come home. The two of them, their friendship had become, they were no longer hooping anymore. They were no longer in college anymore. So that bond that they once shared, it became a bond once again. The camaraderie was back. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. They're back. Cool. You see both of them together. You see one, you see the other one. Everything's straight. Sam ends up taking that 10 years in the feds, man, and Gerald is somewhat devastated. My dog, my partner, man, my ace, my right-hand man, he's gone. He's been in the military for 12 years. He decides he don't want to enlist anymore. He comes back home, he gets a job. He gets a pretty good job. Actually, he gets a job in the within the Department of Corrections. He's working in the feds, working in a federal facility. Like literally a CO in a federal facility, making nice money. 65, 70,000 a year. I say about 60, 65,000 a year. Pretty decent back then. Mind you, this was years ago. He's saving his money, getting his credit together. He's, just doing, the everyday responsible thing, that adults do. But on the flip side, my homie, man, he's in the feds, man. He's stopping by the house. Now, when I say he's stopping by the house, his homie, Sam, had been with a young lady since high school. They've been together for, 14, 15 years at this point. They got like 2-3 kids together. He's the godfather. Gerald is the godfather. He's stopping by and making sure they need, y'all need anything. If she needed a little help on some bills, or, the kids needed to ride to practice, or if they needed some cleats, or if they need basketball shit, whatever, he's there. Again, he's making 60, 65,000 a year, years ago. No one thought anything of that. No one thought that was strange. No one, because it was just like, okay, that's his homie. He's looking out for his dog. So this is what it was. I say about 3 years in. When I say 3 years in, meaning 3 years, in which Sam has been in the prison system, he gets a disturbing message. Sam had a big family. People everywhere, in Lexington, where everybody knew Sam. He just had a big family. One of his cousins was at a hotel one night. He's going to the hotel like he went to the store. You're not at the hotel and you go to the store. Hey, baby, you need something from the store? Okay, I'll be right back. You go to the store. You come back 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes. So as he's coming back to the hotel, he's walking in the room. As he's going to his room, he sees Gerald and Sam's baby's mama walking out of the room together. Walking out of a hotel room together. And this was late, so this is one of those late night creeps or whatever. He literally sees them walking out of the room together. Why would my cousin's baby's mama be walking out of the room with his best friend? Wow. He doesn't say anything for a while. It's one of those things to where, because he was in contact with his cousin, Sam. At this particular juncture in Sam's prison bit, he had a cell phone. So he's able to be in touch with the streets. He's able to, contact people as one would imagine, because you got a cell phone, opposed to having to call on the jail phone. And if they don't got no money on the phone, or if you don't have no money, you're not going to be able to reach anybody. He decides, nah, man, cuz needs to know this. He ends up telling his cuz, hey, man, cuz, I know you locked up, but I figure you might want to know this, bro. I was at the telly, a week or so, 2 weeks ago, whatever. And I seen your man, Sam. I seen your man, Gerald, coming out of the hotel room with your baby's mama, Gina. Baby's mama's name was Gina. Are you for real? Man, my dog, I looked right at them. I seen them. They were coming out of the room together, and they was awfully friendly. He had his hand around her waist. You know how a man puts his hand, like, on a girl's back, on her lower back, right be right above her buttocks, to say the least. They were smiling. I definitely seen it. My dog wouldn't do me like that. Sam, he gets to questioning the kids. I don't agree with that part. You never bring kids into a situation. But they called him Unc. Uncle's over here. He spent the night. He was make sure. So the kids have started to notice certain things. But the mother has told them not to say anything, but they're going to be loyal to their daddy. Sam knows something is definitely going on. My man's Gerald, man, is fooling with my wife. Word starts to spread like wildfire. Wildfire. I'm keep wanting to say wildfire. Wildfire in the streets, man. Sam's baby's mama's messing with Gerald. It's the talk of the streets. Now, mind you, social media, it was around, but it wasn't nearly. If Facebook, Instagram, and if it was Snapchat and all that, man, back then, oh my God. But it wasn't as popular back then. It wasn't as known. Two of them had friction, man. You kicking on my girl? Of course, Gerald denied it. Nah, bro, I don't know what he's talking about, man. I went in no hotel with your girl, man. I ain't did nothing but looked out, make sure your kids was good, come over. She need a little couple dollars or whatever. I send it to her, or I give it to her. If you need some money, I give it to her to send to you. Bro, I wouldn't even do you like that, man. The longer and longer that he was incarcerated, Sam, he would hear more and more. It just so happens to where Sam ended up getting caught with that cell phone. Ended up serving like a year in the hole. And they moved him way to like Seattle or somewhere. So now instead of being 3 hours away from home, now he's way across the country. He's in Seattle. A year in the hole. And he loses some of his good time. He had a hard bit. He had some things that happened. People passed away very close to him, was passing away, and there was nothing he could do about it. He's way in Seattle. Out of that 10-year sentence, he ends up doing like 9 of it. Eventually, he comes home. When he comes home, he doesn't have anything. His truck that he once had is gone. His money that he had is gone. All of his clothes, they're outdated, and plus he's gotten bigger because he's been in there working out and, staying in shape and, things like that. So he comes home, he doesn't have anything. First 6 months, he has to go to the halfway house. Got a little job, saving his money up or whatever. A lot of people don't like going to the halfway house when they first come home, but I think it's a good thing because it gives you an opportunity. Yeah, you want to be home because they have rules in the halfway house and curfews, and I get it. You just came from that. You want to go home. But in the major scheme of things, when it's all said and done, you sit in there 4 or 5 months, you stack your money up. Now you got enough money to get you a crib, got a little money put down on the car or whatever. You don't really have to get out and expect anything from anybody else. So a halfway house is not the worst of things that could happen to you when you first come home. Patience, man. We got to have patience, man. Comes home. Friction in there. Definitely friction in there because I really feel it in my heart that you've been sleeping with my baby's mama, man. At this point, it's years and years later, man. I just mentioned he ended up doing 9 years. When he initially heard something about this, he was only 3 years in, man. Torture. That's torturous, man. Being locked up and then you know that your girl's out here doing whatever she's big enough and grown enough to do, and you in there and there's nothing you can do or say about it, man, that is absolute torture. But in a lot of cases, it's payback. All the nights you didn't come home. All the nights you wasn't answering your phone when she was blowing your phone up. All the nights you was at the strip club. All the nights you was with other females and she's sitting around wondering where you at. Now the tables are turned. The tide is turned. You're wondering where she's at. Why she's not answering the phone? She with Jody. Yeah, Jody is the penitentiary name that has been floating around the penitentiary for years. You calling your girl, she ain't answering. It's always going to be a wise guy. It's always going to be somebody in the background, sarcastic. You know where she's at, nigga. She's with Jody, nigga. She's with Jody. Jody's digging off up in that thing. Man, shut up. Man, my girl ain't with no Jody. Oh, she with Jody. Trust me. You do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, there's a Jody. There's a Jody. Respectfully. Nevertheless, it's beef, man. You got a problem, man. He sees Gerald. They end up talking about it. They discuss the matter. Gerald denies it, and denies it. Got to the point to where Sam questioned his baby's mama so much, she finally just admitted to it. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we hooked up. He was coming around. He was calling, showing concern. I couldn't talk to you. Wasn't really hearing from you like that. Baby, I'm in prison. I'm calling you as much as I could. It doesn't matter. I wasn't hearing from you like that. I needed somebody to confide in. He listened to me. I knew him. Ain't like I just went out here and got with a random somebody I didn't know. I already knew him. I knew. So, yeah, we did it. How many times y'all do it? I don't know. But it was several times. They had hooked up 15, 20, 30 times throughout the course of his 9 years in which he was incarcerated. Sam wasn't feeling that at all. He calls Gerald, lets him know that he knows. And when I see you, it's on. Then the video game Donkey Kong is on like Donkey Kong. It's on. When I see you, it's on. Lexington's not that big of a city. Wasn't very long before the two of them crossed paths. Old saying, 2 mountains may never meet, but 2 men will. And that sentiment held to be true. They ran into each other in the club. There was a whole lot of friction. There was a whole lot of chest bumping, and but nothing ever happened. People stepped in between them, and nothing actually happened. But it was about to go down. Sam wasn't gonna just allow this to just go away. Both of them, they frequented the club. At this point, Gerald had kind of moved on with his life. He had a fiance. He was, he was going a different direction in life. Meanwhile, Sam done jumped back in the game after doing 9 years. He had been home for maybe about a year or so, had a good job, got a decent job. See, the thing about the feds, when you come out of the feds and they do a background check on you, it doesn't show up like that. But if you come out of the state, everything that you've done is going to show up. But if you come out of the feds, your background, your history doesn't show up. So you're going to have an opportunity to get a better job. Never understood it, but that's just the way that it is. And I ain't hating on them. They can make it work for them. Allow it to work for them. Sam got a good job, but Sam had a lot of kids now. He done came home, had more kids, and shoot. I guess he wanted to wear the $300-$400 concrete throwback Jordans, retro Jordans. He wanted to wear $200-$300 pair of jeans. He wanted to have the jewelry. He wanted to have the big truck again in the rims. Can't get all of that. Even though I got a good job, it's $18, $19 an hour. It ain't getting it. That's a good job for a felon, but in the major scheme of things, that ain't no money. You make $19 an hour. What is that? $800 a week. A little bit less than $800 a week before taxes. Then you do taxes, insurance. If you got a 401k, which I would highly advise, what you gonna bring home? $550 a week, $2,200 a month. Yeah, that's better than nothing. It's better than the $22 a month in prison they gonna pay you. But on the streets, $2,200 a month. You live in an apartment that really ain't shit at $2,200 a month. Half of that, slice that in half. Leaves you with $1,100. You got electric. Probably ain't gonna have to pay water in an apartment. Pay electric, cell phone bill, $200. What does that leave you with? $900? Okay, you got $900 left over. Got to have a vehicle. You ain't really had no money to just go and spend $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 on a car, $5,000 on a car. So guess what? You got to have a car. By the time you pay for your car, it's $400 a month. $400 a month. Got to have car insurance. Got to pay gas. Got to have groceries. By the time you do all of that, you don't have no money left over, and you got kids. And you got things that you want to do. You want to go out and kick it with your girl, and you need clothes, and you need extracurriculars, and leaves you with no money. Every once in a while, you get a little overtime. Overtime is going to take half your money. Okay, I make $18 an hour, $27 an hour with overtime. I get 10 hours every pay period, for overtime. What's that, 270? Half of that's gone. 135, 140, 150. So you really feeling the pressure. You really trying to understand, like, man, how am I going to make it out here? I'm going to go back to what I know. I'm going to keep my job, but I'm going to go back to what I know. I'm just trying to make me $500, $600 a week just on dealing with 2 or 3 people, and that's it. That $500, $600 a week comes fast. Comes too fast, too easily. Get you a couple more people, now you're making an extra $1,000 a week. Get you a couple more people, now you're making $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a week. Next thing you know, you all the way in it. Yeah, you still got your job, but you all the way back in the game, knee deep. Back on the Fed's radar. Feds is looking at you again. You thinking that you being slick. You think that you ducking and dodging, and you, okay, I'm gonna be strategic about this situation this time. Last time I know I did this, but nah, this time I'm gonna do this. All the way in it, stacking that money. You making that money, but not necessarily stacking that money. Because you have an image. You going out every night. You got a new girl now. You didn't left your baby's mama alone. You left that situation alone. But prior to leaving that alone, prior to getting over that situation, which that's something that you never got over, you seen your goons, you seen your hitters to get a Gerald. Gerald's coming out of the club one night. He's with his girl, his new girl, fiance. They walk into the car. Remember the fact that Gerald's ex-military, 12 years in the Marines. Ain't no soft dude by any stretch of the imagination. Ain't no little dude either. Been lifting weights, working out or whatever, stays in shape. Coming out of the club. 3 dudes just out of nowhere, just start welling on him, just out of nowhere. Had no clue where they even came. He didn't even really see it coming. They beating him. Boom, boom. They stomping him, kicking him or whatever. Little did they know, Gerald had that thing on him. So when they beating him, he's able to get to he got it back down in his ankle. He was taken in the club with him. I guess that was a spot to where it was safe and secure. They never really, detected it, and he had that thing on him. He had it in his ankle. They beating him, man. This girl screaming. She don't know what to do. Only thing she can do is run to the car, cut the car on, and start honking, laying on the horn and flashing the lights. Ain't like she can beat up 3 dudes. These dudes was, pulls that thing out. They see it. They get to running. Bow! Bow! He gets to firing, man. He gets to firing on him. Ends up hitting one of them. Nothing major. Hits one of them like in the back of the arm or shoulder or something like that as they running away. He's busted up. Faces, eyes busted. Nose is black. Lips bloody. Like they busted him up, man. They busted him all the way up. Now, while there's no proof, the streets say that Sam sent the goons on him, man. Again, there's no proof. But that's just what the streets say, man. I don't know. Who's the streets? Who is they? They say, who is they? Nevertheless, that just intensified the beef, man. That really, really intensified the beef because at this point, Gerald's like, oh, okay, that's what we doing? That's what we doing now? Bet. Months, go past or whatever. Gerald's not trying to press the issue. He's not pressing charges. He can't look, man. I don't know who it was. I don't even. And after all, he didn't. Dudes jumped him from the blind side. He didn't even see who it was. Those charges don't end up sticking because there's no witnesses against the individuals that potentially did it. Because I think one of them ended up getting arrested on some BS, and they were trying to tie him into it, but there was no proof. Those charges just dissipated. But it was a problem between these 2 individuals, man. Neither one of them were really street dudes. Sam was more of a hustler. But Gerald wasn't feeling that whatsoever. I'm going to get him. One night, Sam is in his car and he falls asleep. He's in his truck, he falls asleep. He falls asleep. It's like at a stop sign or something like that. Police come, they arrest him, take him to jail, DUI. He would get toasted, buttered. While he was in jail and before he bonds out, the feds come to him. They tell him, you got 6 months to get your affairs in order. We'll be back to arrest you. 6 months. We'll give you 6 months to get your affairs in order, and we'll be back. Sam didn't know what to think of this. It can't be a joke. If they really wanted me, why wouldn't they arrest me now? Why would they give me 6 months? See, the feds let Sam know, we already got you. We already got you. So what you do from this point on is on you, but we already got you. Sam could continue to do what he did, do what he was doing or whatever. And 6 months to that day, feds came in and got him at his job. 6 months later, the feds came and got him, charged him with trafficking, conspiracy, being part of a RICO, organized crime. Came and got him, man. Locked him up, no bond. Sam had just gotten out of the feds, so he hadn't even been home he had been home like less than 5 years. He knows how the feds operate. He knows that they go off of a point system. He knows that the feds go off of, showing accountability for your actions. They're trying to get him to work with them. He tells the people, listen, man, I don't know nothing, but I'm going to hold myself accountable for my actions. So y'all going to charge me or convict me or whatever of what I did. Pleads out. He had to plead out to a 20-year sentence. Because he knew if he went to trial, he's subject to get life, 40 or 50 years. So he pleads out to 20. Actually, it was 18 years that he pled out to be honest. Because in the feds, you plead out to months. So the amount of months that he pled out to was equivalent to 18 years. Same thing. Tomatoes. Still the same thing. Luckily for him, they have a what's called the First Step Act now, in which you can get good time when you go to the feds now. So you take classes, you get certain amount of time off of your sentence. So he's knowing these things to be a possibility. The First Step Act hadn't passed at that point, but he knew that it was, potentially going to happen, probably going to happen. I take his 18-year sentence. I don't want to bite the bullet, but I can be home in 9, 10. At this point, he's already in his 40s. But coming home in your 50s looks a lot better than not coming home at all, or coming home in your 70s. End up taking a plea deal, and off to the feds he goes. In the meanwhile, Gerald ends up getting married to his fiance. Still on his job for several years. At this point, they got a house. They done moved. They got a couple houses now. They're in the real estate property or whatever, and they're happy. I think the two of them have since made amends. They talked. I'm quite sure that I wasn't there. I wasn't a fly on the wall, but I'm quite sure that, Gerald apologized for his actions or whatever. And the two of them ended up being cool again, man. It'll never be like it was, obviously. They'll never be cool like they once were. But how many of us are cool the way that we once were when we were in, junior high or elementary? This is my dog. This is my cat, man. We'll never fall out. Unfortunately, man, life just doesn't tend to work that way, man. People that are your friends, when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, probably not going to be your friends when you're 36, 46, 56. Does it happen? Yeah. You still have people that are, but in a lot of situations, it's typically not going to happen that way, man. Life's, man. Life definitely lifed in this situation, man. Both parties were wrong, but I don't agree with what Gerald did. That was your man's, man. You don't sleep with his baby's mama. I don't care if she came on to you. I don't care if she was just needed to talk to you and you thought that you were just going over there for moral support. And no, man. Because you have the ability to say no, man. Now, Gina was fine. I'm not going to lie. Even now, I see Gina on Facebook and she's still fine. But she's fine, but she's foul. Because she slept with your man. That was your man, like your best best friend and she knew it. So not only did Gerald violate the code, Gina violated the code as well. And in my eyes, she's to never, ever be trusted again. That's something you just don't do. If you want to go and do something, you get lonely. You get lonely. Oh, 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 oh. You get lonely. Go get, but not with your best friends. You know what I mean? Not with your man's best friends. You don't do that, man. Just something that you don't do. I don't care what the circumstances were, are. You don't do that. Right now, to this day, Sam's in the feds, and hopefully in the next 3 or 4 years he'll have opportunity to come home, man. 3, 4, 5 years. When he comes home, he'll be in his 50s. Got a lot of kids at this point, grandkids, and hopefully he understands that the streets is not his friend. You're not gonna win. Leave the streets alone. I understand you like Jordans, you like nice shit, but there's other ways to go about getting it, especially now. You start your YouTube channel. People on YouTube do fairly well. He's a popular dude. When he posts stuff on Facebook, he's going to get, 1,500, 2,000 views, likes, or whatever. So people like you on Facebook. People are people. They're like you on YouTube. Start your YouTube channel. Start you something that's going to deter you from them streets, because that temptation. See, when you're in the feds, when you locked up, just period, that temptation, you swear up and down I'm never going back to that lifestyle. I'll just be broke. I'll make $12 an hour. Yeah, it all sounds good until you actually out here and you seeing what it's like to make $12 an hour. Again, it's better than making $25, $30 a month and while you're incarcerated. But the reality of it is you're going to have to get out here and do something productive and positive to afford yourself the lifestyle. Just the thing, you have kids. Young kids, you have older kids, and you have young kids. And you have to take care of those kids. Is $12 an hour gonna get it? Absolutely not, but it's a start. And it's honest money. Do what you gotta do to stay up out of penitentiaries, man. This situation was one of those things to where it kind of ended up being a happy ending. Nobody got unalive, nobody got hurt, although Gerald did get his wig split by them goons that ran up on him. Maybe he deserved it, maybe he didn't. I'm not an advocate for violence, man. Only thing I can say is watch your circle, man. Because they just might be the one to hurt you and try to take you down. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification so anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive Real Kids TV.